This segment is about stair movement with an implement. So again, we're using the 2-inch by 20 to 22 foot piece of webbing. We've drugged the victim to the steps, and if you're in that scenario where you are a standalone rescuer, you don't have a partner that could facilitate or assist moving this victim up the stairs, it is possible to move that victim as an individual. So we're going to go through this step by step and talk about how to convert that standard drag strap with the girth into a stair movement harness. So Bobby has drugged the victim to the base of the steps. He's going to pull his hand out of the drag position. He's going to straddle the victim. He's going to make sure that he's got his groin all the way down and sits down on top of the victim. At that point, he's going to pull up his drag strap and find that benchmark that is equal with the position of his face piece. To do this correctly, this opening needs to be sized in a manner that correlates to your torso and leg length. So it's got to be specific to the rescuer. At this point, he's going to put a simple overhand in the drag strap. As soon as he makes that overhand and pulls all that through, Bobby's going to open up that segment below the overhand knot. Once it's opened up, he's going to lay all the way down on his belly. He's going to put that loop around his face piece and helmet, and he's going to swim one arm through that opening. As soon as he's swum through it, he's going to work his shoulders back and forth to make sure that the webbing's up off of his neck. He's going to get his hands out to the wall in front of him on each side of the stairs, and he's going to get both of his feet directly under his rear end and get his back as straight as possible. It's important when you do this technique that you understand the body mechanics behind it. If you lift with your back and not with your legs, there's a high propensity to get injured. So you want to ensure that you're keeping your back as straight up and down as possible. When Bobby's ready, he's going to stand straight up, suspend the entire victim's weight under his legs, and he's going to walk directly up the stairs. It's really important that you understand that each one of these rigging components that we stress to you have a definitive purpose. So having the attachment point for the girth on the lateral portion of the victim orients the victim such that they're sideways and their cylinder is outboard as opposed to underneath their body. That enables you, when you encounter things like stairs, to be able to pass the victim completely over those steps with them suspended and not worry about the cylinder catching the risers on any of the steps. So make sure that you're rigging it based on the preliminary components that we hit, and you're keeping that foundational principle right of keeping that rigging point on the side. Another option with the implement movements for stairs is to utilize the suitcase carrier. One of the downsides of this application for stair movement is that it requires two rescuers to basically be side by side. They can stagger somewhat on the steps, but you end up requiring a stair system that's relatively wide. So a very narrow, older construction type residential stairwell is probably not going to accommodate this technique. And you'll be better off utilizing a traditional air pack movement technique or a bulldoze technique. Okay, so Bobby and Ryan, here they are prepping for the suitcase. They've opened up the webbing. They've placed the arms in the right positions. Very quickly, Ryan's going to flip the victim. Each rescuer is going to find their handles. Now, for the stair movement component, we can go all the way up to the shoulders of each rescuer, which is going to get that victim up really, really high. These guys just need to make sure they get their both feet under their rear ends, back straight, hands towards their shoulders, and stand up on a ready, ready, go.
Ready? Ready, go.
They're going to stagger slightly, and up the steps they go.